Welcome to another episode of Curiosity Builds. My name's Trevin, and I am using my curiosity to learn in public. And my curiosity today is, again, the Conundrum Desk, my tribute build of a conundrum generator honoring the Slate Political Gabfest's 20th anniversary, a podcast that I love dearly. Last episode, I demonstrated the playground skill that Anthropics created for Claude Code. It was pretty cool. It helped us do some UI changes, but I want to do some more comprehensive changing of this to kind of get this in shape because I don't have much time left. So I want to do some more cleanup so that way the last episode hopefully will be kind of like a MVP, a minimum viable product where we've got an LLM connected to give us some better outputs than these kind of silly, which polite lie would you ban, even if it made every dinner awkward? Okay, that's not bad. But watch if I start, let's do reality, and the stakes are low, and the vibe is sci-fi, and the clock is forever in the past. Generate a conundrum. In a sci-fi setting, with the clock set forever in the past, someone confront medium stakes, a reality-bending question, which side wins you? All right, so clearly we are running on some very limited information here. So we've got to get that fixed, but I think that's going to be the next episode. This is going to be kind of one more UI adjustment, and I'm going to do it through prompting. So I'm going to go over here to my trusty agent, Codex. I'm actually going to change this. We're going to try Opus 4.6. It's the latest model released by Anthropic. Pretty fast. And we'll give it a go here. So I want to do some more changes to the Conundrum Desk. I want the drawers to be kind of drop-down selection menus, so that way you see a list of the options, you select it, and then it collapses up and stays there. I don't want everything to shift up and down like you have it right now. Also, I want one clear all button at the top. We don't need clear to be on every single drawer. Okay. In addition to that, I want to get rid of the seed sparks, the why it's interesting, the actions section. Those can be completely deleted. The submit conundrum, well, it says submit to recent. I want it to say submit conundrum button should go right up against the text field under your conundrum. So you've got your conundrum, you've got the input, and then underneath that, it should say submit to recent. Also, the tape that you have, they need to look more like pieces of tape, and they need to be at the top of the papers like they're taping it to the desk. Right now, they're just floating in the middle, kind of haphazard. It looks funny. Okay, let's see how that goes. Whoops, I will delete that little part. All right, we are going to send this into Opus, and we will see what they do with that. Now, what's the difference between using Claude over here or Claude over here? I'm not 100% sure, but when I first started using Cursor, you weren't able to get Anthropic models over in this agent. I use the terminal exclusively for Claude Code. I'm sure if you are a seasoned user of Claude, you could tell me right now if there was a difference. I'm thinking not. I'm thinking there is not a difference, other than you can use your mouse over here and you can copy and paste and things you can't do in a terminal as easily. But also, some people that have been developers for forever, people that are making this transition, they're more comfortable over in the terminal, so I can understand why there would be preferences. So it's getting to work. We'll be back when it's done some things, and we'll make some more adjustments. Okay, we are back. It is saying it has done everything. I actually have not looked. We might need to refresh this. Oh, we actually might need to relaunch the server here. Let's kill this. Let's launch another local preview. Let's go into the terminal, type in bundev, and spin up the local host, and we will see, hopefully, we'll see the changes. Hopefully, we will see some changes. No, I wonder why. All 5 changes are in. I pulled up the local preview and I don't see any of these changes. Yeah, could be a hard refresh I need to try. Okay. We'll give that a, we'll see, Command Shift R. No. No, ma'am. Did a hard refresh and not seeing anything. Oh, it does say old tab. I guess we could close it completely. No, I did do that. I completely relaunched it. Yeah, I did a hard refresh. I launched the local host from the terminal that I was launching earlier, and I reopened the tab. I don't see any changes that you applied. Let's see what you have to say about that, mister, or sister, or whoever you may be. Oh, yes, please. So it just edited the file. It didn't edit the entire. Oh, you know what it did? It edited the playground file. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. So the last episode, we did this playground, and it was cool. I didn't use it too much. This episode, I'm filming right after that one, put in this prompt, it edited the playground file. That's kind of nuts. I did not ask you to edit the playground file. The prompt I gave you were to make edits that are on this project, so that way we can preview them and commit them. It looks like you just edited the playground HTML file. That is not at all what we're trying to do here. I get a little sassy. Especially late at night, especially when it's making mistakes. Yeah, look at this. You're absolutely right. I apologize. You better apologize. We haven't even, I killed that Claude server, moved over here. So I guess they are connected, huh? Well, that's good. I'm glad we saw this. Okay, I am back with these changes. I like them, but while it was making them, I kind of had a bit of a wild pivot idea. This whole section in the middle is no longer really relevant because I don't really want people to enter their own conundrums. Like, they're going to be doing that on their own time, especially if they want to submit them to Slate's Conundrum Show, right? What I want people to do is have fun interacting with the generation tool. So I want to get rid of this, and I want people to still vote on ones they like, but it's so difficult to kind of display that. So what I think I want to do is get a little crazy and see what can happen. And I know it's like, wow, we want a crazy pivot here when it's so late in the time to try to get this done. But why not? Why not shoot for the moon here? Okay, I want to take a bit of a pivot here. We no longer need the working paper section because we're just going to have people generate their conundrums on their own. So we don't need to have them enter them. I want to get rid of that, and I want to make the leaderboard fill in the center. And we can just fill it in, you know, however displays nicely, maybe 2 by 2 going all the way down, showing as many as we want, and you can just endlessly scroll, I suppose, in order from top to bottom, most votes to bottom votes. But every time you generate a conundrum, I want you to have the option to submit. So you can submit it and it just goes on the board. Or I kind of like the toss option. And then I want it to just toss in kind of like an animation. So it's like crumpled paper that just litters the background, the sides of the conundrum desk. And other people can come along and click those and see what was tossed. And if they like them, they can revive them and submit them. Yeah, that's kind of cute. It just popped into my head. I don't know how difficult that will be to do. Requires some animation work. Let's see what it comes up with. I am 100% sure that I'm going to have to fast forward this, but let's see. Oh, significant pivot. It's telling me I might want to ask. Let's switch to ask. Switch to plan mode, which is what I should have done. Thank you, Opus. Okay, yeah, I am so impressed with this plan. It's got the architecture overview, generate the conundrum, show it, submit or toss, the animation line, the submit straight to leaderboard line. It definitely has to interact with Supabase because we have to create that table to store that. API changes. Man, it's a lot going on. This is going to be a long build, but I'm excited. Could not have gotten here without going through all these different iterations that we've gone through. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's give it a go. Okay, we are almost finished here. And it is... Let's see. Would you rather be wrong? What would you rather be wrong about that uncertain? Submit or toss? Toss failed. Try again. Cute. Okay. Submit to board. Submit failed. Try again. It's still wiring up the Supabase, which is going to store everything, which is why the toss failed, because it's got to store it somewhere. I like this, though. I like the direction that we're headed. Oh, yes. So not everything runs automatically. There are a lot of commands that are behind actions. So you can add things over time, like your allowed list. I have a pretty large allowed list now that I understand how different things interact. There's some things that they never let you have run automatically because they want to make sure a human's agreeing. And a lot of times when you're interacting with external sites or API keys, those are 100% you need to click. It's kind of like your sign off. You're initialing it. We didn't do it. If we made something wrong, it's because you said, right? So that's what this is about. Yep. Might be something I have to do myself, but I already wired this up to Supabase, so it should be able to do this on its own. Oh, it needs a different token though, which is okay. I can go get that. There's no migration setup. Run manually against Supabase dashboard. Let me mark the remaining to do is complete. Get the user migration skills on. Yep. So it's gonna give me something that I need to do manually over at Supabase, I believe. Man, it's interesting. It's like seeing your computer think and all of the thoughts in a way that you can understand. I mean, it's not like that. It's exactly what it is, isn't it? But it's good. It lets us double check it. In some ways, the advancements of AI and coding have allowed it to be more transparent because the average person can read this and glean a lot from what's going on versus, coding jargon and language that you couldn't understand before. All right, so remove, new layout, toss, crumpled. But aren't there things I need to do? Or is it done? Let's see. Okay, I don't see the instructions to set up the Supabase connection though, because it's not working in the preview, so I'm assuming I need to get the API key mentioned. Supabase connection is already configured. The URL source key are there. The issue is certainly that the status column doesn't exist yet. Yeah, that's right. So I probably, there we go. I had to do this myself before. Oh, we got a 404 error. Try again in a different way. It's reachable. We can reach it. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Can't rerun, so I need to do that. When I set this up before with Codex, I had to do a lot of this manually. Claude is better at some of this. It is solving some of these problems on its own that Codex was like, oh, this is the problem. Here's how you do it. I can't go do that for you, but I'll walk you through it. It might end up being the same. We might end up here. We might end up doing that here, excuse me. But I've found that Claude finds solutions better. CLI needs a personal access tone. It's going to keep trying. It really wants me to not have to do it, which I would like that because it is a pain. But I think I am going to have to go in there. If it keeps failing like this, I am going to... Oh, just install it temporarily on the migration. I don't want it to spin its wheels forever because I don't want it to waste tokens. Sometimes you have to kind of just go with the vibe, like, it seems like it's not working, and interrupt it. It's something that I've learned to be patient with, but also if it happens enough, you want to kind of go through and check what it's doing. If it seems like it's running the same thing over and over again, it could be caught in a loop. This is not looking like the same thing over and over again, so we are going to proceed. But that's something good to call out. I have definitely run into a usage limit because I didn't realize what it was caught in. That was very early on in my Claude coding experience. Yep, this is actually telling me what I have to do, which I thought might end up being the case. Couldn't connect. Here's exactly what to do. So I will go do that, and we will be right back. Okay, so I went and did exactly what it told me to do over in Supabase. I didn't record that because I just want to make sure I don't put anything on the screen that I shouldn't. And look at that. It is up and running. It is generating and saving. Let's see if the toss works, though. What would you rather be wrong about than uncertain about? Toss it. But where'd it go? I don't see it. I saw the toss go away. Toss it. But where does it go? Oh, is this it right here? Yeah. Okay, it's just not as easy to see. Okay. Revive, it goes up there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So, cool. I think what I want to do is have some kind of improvement on how these look. I also want them to be like around the desk, not on top of the desk. All right, it all looks great. There's a couple changes I'd like to make though. So when you toss it, the way it looks, it kind of just spins. It's not really crumply. It's kind of clunky. It's not smooth. So I want to improve the animation for that and see if you can make it look like it's crumpling up into a piece of paper. And when they're tossed, I kind of want you to see the toss, like where they end up and maybe even if they bounce on the screen. I do not want them to end up on the conundrum desk. I want it to be all around the outside of the desk, and they can pile up on top of each other. That's fine. There can also be some kind of limit. We don't need to keep an infinite amount there if it starts to fill up, but we can have quite a bit. I'd like to have the screen littered with crumpled paper. And then let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. We'll just make sure only the top 10 show on the leaderboard, and let's call it the leaderboard. Yeah. Okay. Try those updates. We'll get rid of this part right here. Okay, I haven't taken a look yet, but it is done. Crumpled paper visuals, they should be much more visible now. It's saying no papers above the title, smart popover positioning, smoother toss animation. Let's take a look. Okay, a little more visible here. They look more like circles though. Generate conundrum, toss. It's okay, I guess, but not what we want. I kind of want to see it, right? So, okay. Definitely easier to see the crumpled paper. They look like circles, though. They don't look like crumpled pieces of paper you would see in the trash. And then the toss animation, it's more like it just like disappears into another dimension, and then a circle of something drops somewhere else on the screen. It needs to look a little more like a toss, like you're tossing a piece of paper into the trash. So you see the whole movement. The thing kind of gets crumpled up and then goes over onto the floor. It doesn't have to disappear or shrink into the background. It can literally crumple up into a ball and drop down. I don't really care. It just needs to fit more with the description of toss. Kind of vague, but hopefully it understands what I'm talking about. If it doesn't look good after this, there's a couple of different things we can do. We can say, all right, I'm just going to drop that idea because I don't want to expend more tokens and time on it. Or we can go out to the internet and research similar effects, see how they're created, and come back and engage with the LLMs using that example. But before I go out and take what other people have done, I try to see if I can get the LLM to do what I want with just my own words. It's like a personal thing. But it is good to go out and see what other people are doing or what other people have created. It doesn't mean you're stealing their idea, but it is meaning you can see what's going on and use that to inform and inspire and get to where you're arriving at quicker. Okay, it thinks it is done. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to give it a try. I don't know. Why are all the paper components moving when you... Oh, when I click on them, they don't even open. Interesting. Okay. When the conundrum is generated and it pushes things down, all of the little papers that are on the sides that have been tossed, they all move. Those should just be static. They shouldn't be impacted at all. Additionally, it's just a really bad animation still. The conundrum disappears and the paper is still dropped. It doesn't look like it's being thrown around. I'm wondering if we should just scrap that animation idea if we can't make it look more seamless. If it doesn't look almost perfect, if it looks too obvious and janky, it's just not worth doing in this situation. So go out and take a look at similar components and animations and see if you can use that to build a better structure that not only makes sense on the back end from a coding perspective, but visually is going to look like you are crumpling up your idea and you are throwing it. And it's in motion on the screen like a toss and a little bounce. Very seamless, very smooth and buttery. All right, last chance. If that doesn't work, then we are going to pivot to something a little easier. Oh yeah, we are giving it permission to go out and take a look. Okay, for its last try, it still is not quite what we want because we want to see where it lands. So we're getting close. I actually don't want to give up on this, but we've filmed a lot here. I think we're going to call this an episode. I think I am going to commit a lot of this, but I'm still going to work on these animations. Okay. I want to commit the changes we've made now, but the animations are still not great. We're going to keep working on them. So while I think about what I'm going to do next, you don't forget to stay curious, don't forget to commit, and we'll be back with the next episode of Curiosity Builds, hopefully with some better toss logic next time.